So number 2, we want to analyze each of these computations and find out what's wrong and explain. So in A, we have 36 plus 36, where we add the ones digits, and 6 plus 6 is 12. So what we should do is write a 2 and carry a 1, but they wrote the 12 here and then added 3 and 3 and got 6. Okay, so it says the sum on B, the sum of the units digit was more than 9, but this was regrouped as the hundreds, not the tens. It looks like it was regrouped as the tens. I'm not really sure how to explain what they did. The sum of the 10 digits was more than 9, but this was regrouped as 110 and not 100. A hundredths digit was not regrouped as a 100 when the sum of the 10 digits was more than 9. And it says the 10 digits was not regrouped with 1 when the sum of the unit digit was more than 9. Okay, that's what it should be. Our unit digit, which is the ones, was not regrouped when it was more. It just wrote it down. Alright, B, looks like we have 6 plus 6 is 12, but they have a 1 here. So it looks like they wrote the 1 down and carried the 2 over out of the 12. And then 8 and 8 is 16, 17, 18, and add that 1. So they just kind of flip-flopped the ones in the tens place. So the sum of the units digit was more than 9, but the tens group was written in the units place, and the unit was regrouped as the tens. That looked like that's what happened. They switched to 12, 1 and 2. Okay, in C, we are subtracting. Okay, so what would need to take place, we would have to borrow 1, which would make this 13, and then 13 minus 4 would give us 9. Instead, it looks like we just subtracted 3 and 4 and wrote 1, which this would be incorrect, because if you have 3, you cannot take away 4. And then here we have 5, so it looked like they just subtracted all the way down. 3 minus 8 is 5, and 8 minus 1 is 7. Looked like they just subtracted the numbers. Okay, so it says the hundred subtraction was done in the wrong direction. The hundreds and 10 subtraction was done in the wrong direction. The unit and 10 subtractions were done in the wrong direction. So yes, this was done in the wrong unit, and the 10, this was done in the wrong direction. And then the hundreds was done in the right. So they just did 4 minus 3 to get 1, and 8 minus 5. So that's what they mean, wrong direction. So the unit, the ones, and the tens were done in the wrong direction. Alright, and then D, we have 404 minus 315. So it looks like they're borrowing. This is 10. And then they need to borrow again, which they did not. So they subtracted this in the wrong direction. And then they left this as 10 minus 1 and got 9, which they should have carried over. And then 3 minus 3 is 0. So it looks like they did this in the wrong direction, and they didn't carry over. So the tens, minute, so what you're subtracting, minute is subtracted from the tens. The unit, minute, is subtracted from the unit subtract hand. That's another way of saying the wrong direction. 1 unit value should have been subtracted from the 4 in the minute units position. And it said 1 tens value should have been subtracted from the tens position to the unit position. So that's what it looks like should have happened. One of these tens should have been moved over here. I think this is the way they want to say that.